Hello everyone, this is Moehawkman, and today's money making guide is all about making nature ruins. The price of nature ruins are really expensive right now, and if you're like me, making your own nature ruins is better than paying millions of GP to keep your invention machines running. This moneymaker can get you anywhere between 12 million to 22 million GP per hour. Let's talk about the requirements and recommendations. You will need level 91 ruin crafting to double craft nature ruins. You will need level 93 summoning to use the Abyssal Titan pouch. You will also need all 5 ruin crafting pouches and the Infinity Ethereal skilling outfit to hold the maximum amount of pure essence. I recommend you also complete the quest Hero's Welcome because it will give you a flat 5% bonus to crafting ruins. For relics, you should be using Pouch Protector to stop all pouches from degrading, Shadow's Grace for the Surge and Bladed Dive cooldown reduction, and Nexus mod which takes you to the center of the abyss once you teleport in. For your gear, you should be wearing the Infinity Ethereal outfit, Explorer's Ring, and Demonic Skull. You should also wield a Wilderness Sword to teleport back to Edgeville, and Enhanced Excalibur in your offhand if you plan on using Bladed Dive. You will also need to set your action bar in a very specific way. I put my ethereal body in the first slot, the small and medium pouches in slot 2 and 3, followed by the summoning familiar symbol in slot 4, and the giant and large pouch in slot 5 and 6. You should put your Surge and Wilderness Sword teleport on the action bar as well. You can also put the Infinity Ethereal Head, Sorcery Power Burst Potion, and Bladed Dive if you plan on using them. Put them in whatever order you feel comfortable with. The last thing I recommend is that you make 2 loadouts. One loadout with all the pouches, familiar filled with essence, and the rest of your inventory filled with essence. The second loadout is if you plan on using the power burst of sorcery potions. Everything will be the same as loadout 1, but just replace 1 pure essence with the potion. One last thing to keep in mind, wearing the demonic skull will make you attackable in the wilderness no matter what level you are, so please be cautious when trying to get into the abyss. Most players will usually ignore you and let you live, but there might be some troll out there who decides to kill you anyway. To reduce this risk, I recommend going into the lowest population worlds. There are a few different ways to make the nature ruins. There is some variation between them, and each one has its pros and cons. Hopefully by the end of the video, you'll find the method that works best for you. Once you've got everything set up, you can start making nature ruins. The first method is the most basic. You will use the Abyss crafting method without using any power burst of sorcery potions. Summon your familiar and go into your bank and equip your normal loadout. Then use your action bar going from slot 1 to slot 6, and then go back into your bank and fill your massive pouch manually, and then press your loadout again. Then start heading north towards the wilderness. I prefer to surge once before I hit the wilderness ditch, and then once more after I jump the ditch. If you have Bladed Dive, I would recommend using it after you pass the oak tree and hit one of the skeletons near the mage and teleport into the abyss. You can configure the mage to have the teleport option as the first option, so you don't have to right click the mage every time. If you have your own system of when you want to use your surge or your Bladed Dive, just go with whatever is comfortable to you. As long as you get to the abyss as fast as possible, use whatever works for you. Once you teleport into the abyss, the Nexus mod will put you near the nature portal. Enter as fast as possible, craft the nature ruins, teleport back to Edgeville, and then rinse and repeat the same process again. You should be getting exactly 216 nature ruins every trip if you fulfilled all the requirements and recommendations. If not, you should check your loadout and make sure the Abyssal Titan is filled with essence, and you're filling the massive pouch manually. Let's move on to the second method. It's very similar to the first one, but this time you'll be drinking a power burst of sorcery potion before making the nature ruins. For those who don't know what this potion does, for the next 10 seconds it will double the ruins you make only on the first ruin crafting action. Please keep in mind that if you mess up and accidentally teleport out before crafting any ruins, you will still trigger the 2-minute global cooldown. This is where the second loadout comes into play. I recommend you decant the potions into 1 doses so you will have an extra slot when you drink it. After that, you can use your ethereal outfit ability to take out pure essence to fill the space. Make the ruins and teleport back to Edgeville. Go back to your bank, and then this time you will use the normal loadout and head back towards the abyss. You should be able to complete 2 normal trips before the cooldown resets. If you're faster than me, you might be able to squeeze in a third trip. If the cooldown is close to ending, you should switch back to the Power Burst loadout and head back to the Abyss and rinse and repeat until you don't want to do it anymore. Now on to the last method. This next method revolves around teleporting directly to the nature altar and bypassing the Abyss. There are a couple downsides to doing this method. One is that you will burn through your teleport tokens like crazy, and the other is that you will not receive any magical threads. Even if you've saved up enough Wicked Hood tokens or RuneSpan points to buy the nature altar teleports, this method isn't sustainable in the long run. Wicked Hood teleports cost 1500 RuneSpan points for 3 teleports, and the nature altar tablets cost 2000 points for 10 teleports. On the flip side, you will be making nature ruins much faster than the other two methods. As for the loadout, you will follow the same system as the second method. Start off with the Power Burst loadout, and then switch to the regular loadout, and then switch back again. If done properly, you should be able to do 1 Power Burst loadout and 3 regular loadouts before you have to switch back and forth. This method does require your full attention because you will be constantly pressing all of your keybinds every few seconds. So I'm warning you now before you decide to fully commit. Let's move on to the price check. This first price check is about the first method. If you're curious, these numbers are from 70 trips. I must admit that I was slower than average, which is around 78 trips per hour. I got over 15,000 nature ruins worth 14 million GP and 20 magical threads worth 4 million GP. The total price check is just over 18 million. The cost of the pure essence is around 894,000, so the overall profit margin is around 17.1 million GP per hour. Moving on to the price check for the second method, I made over 20,000 nature ruins and got 18 magical threads in 68 trips. I did make more mistakes than I would like to admit, but I still made a good number of ruins. I managed to do 28 trips with the Power Burst potion and 40 normal trips. The full price check is 22.9 million, split into 19.3 million for the nature ruins and 3.6 million for the threads. The cost of the 7 Power Burst potions is around 980,000, and the pure essence cost around 868k. Subtract that cost from the total and you get an overall profit margin of 21 million GP per hour. Let's move on to the third price check regarding the third method. These numbers are from 96 trips. I will be honest here, I made a lot of mistakes, and I feel I could have made over 100 trips if I hadn't misclicked as much as I did. If you're curious, I made 24 trips using the Power Burst loadout and 72 normal trips. I made nearly 26,000 nature ruins worth 24.1 million GP. Like I said earlier, you don't get any threads from this method. The Power Burst potions cost around 840k, and the pure essence cost around 1.2 million. The overall profit margin is just over 22 million GP per hour. However, don't forget the hidden cost of this method because all of those teleport tokens can't be bought with money, and everyone knows RuneSpan points can't be earned very quickly. So what method should you choose? If you care about cost, method 1 is the best option for you. It makes less nature ruins than the other methods, but the only upfront cost is the pure essence. If you want a solid middle ground, method 2 is likely the best for you. You can make more nature ruins than method 1 with more upfront cost. The potions will eat into your GP per hour a little bit, but the extra nature ruins will make up for it. If you want the most nature ruins, method 3 will work until you run out of banked teleport tokens. On top of the potions and the pure essence cost, you will also have to consider the RuneSpan points and how much you value them. Before I end the video, there's one last thing I didn't include here. The Abyssal Titan pouch is only 9k each, which is why I didn't bother to add it into the cost factor. Even if you use 2 pouches to fill out the rest of the hour, it doesn't put a dent into your overall profit margins that you'll be making. Anyways, that's all from me today. Be kind to one another, stay safe, have a nice day. Peace out, everyone.